Welcome back, students. And in previous video, as we have talked about that how the packaging of the DNA helix takes place. Now we are going to further study that what is the how we can say that DNA is the genetic material, how it has been proved that DNA is the genetic material. As we all know that nuclein was first of all discovered by Friedrich Miescher, and at the same time it was Mendel who has discovered the factors. These factors, they were responsible for transferring the traits from one generation to other generation. Factors were discovered by Mendel, and these factors were very much responsible for transfer of the traits from one generation to the other generation. But yet the mystery of which one of the biomolecule act as a genetic material remain as a mystery. Later on, with the advancement of medical technologies and very sophisticated instruments like microscopes, everything, a large number of the scientists like Sutton, Morgan, etc., they carried out a large number of the experiments to give out their views on which of the biomolecule act as the genetic material. But later on, Griffith, he succeeded in telling which one act as the genetic material. Then we are going to talk about Griffith's experiment, which is a very famous experiment, and it is known as Griffith's transformation principle. So when we are talking about Griffith's transformation principle, Griffith, in his experiment, he has chosen a bacterial strain. A bacterial strain. Okay, this bacterial strain is Streptococcus pneumoniae. This Streptococcus pneumoniae, it is very much responsible for causing pneumonia. Okay, so while he was conducting his experiment, while he was doing his experiment on this bacterial strain, he observed that certain transformation, structural transformation occurs in one of the strains of this bacteria. Transformation was observed in one of this strain. Clear? So carrying on further with this experiment, Streptococcus pneumoniae, as I said you all, it contains, when he has cultured, Griffith, when he cultured the Streptococcus pneumoniae on the culture plate in the laboratories, he observed that two colonies of two different strains emerged out. One was said to be the S strain and the other set was said to be the R strain. The S strain, as the name suggests, it is the smooth strain. Here the name smooth is given since it contains an outer smooth covering which is made up of mucopolysaccharides. It is said to be smooth because it contains outer smooth covering of mucopolysaccharides. Okay, then this strain, it proves to be a virulent strain since it is the it is the causative agent of causing death in the mice. When we are talking about the R strain, obviously, as the name suggests, it is the rough strain. It is said to be the rough strain because it lacks the outer shiny, slippery covering. it lacks the outer shiny slippery coating, and it is the non-virulent stage because it does not kill the mice during the course of experiment. So further he carried out the experiment with these S strain and R strain. What he did, he took some of the S strains bacteria and injected them into some of the mice. When he did this, what he found, that those mice which were injected with the R strain, they were killed off, that is they died off. S strain, which is also the virulent strain, when it was injected into the mice, they died off. Clear? Which proves that these are the virulent strains. Clear? Now he took some of the R strains bacteria and then he injected them into the mice, some of the mice, and he observed astonishingly that the mice did not die off but they were alive, which further proves that this R strain is a non-virulent strain. Okay. Now, after conducting this experiment, a thought came into his mind that there is something present in the outer covering of the S strain bacteria due to which it proves to be virulent. So further, in order to find out what is that particular substance or that particular material present in the outer shiny coating of the S strain, he killed off the S strain bacteria with the heat shock, and then he collected the heat killed S strain bacteria and he mixed them up with the R strain bacteria, and then he again injected them the mice with this particular kind of the S strain and the R strain mixture of bacteria. Then what he observed, that again the mice died, though the S strain bacteria were killed off and the R strain were alive. So he got heat killed S strain bacteria plus R strain alive bacteria. This mixture was again injected into the mice and the mice again died. From this experiment, he concluded, that is Griffith concluded, that there were certain substances present in the in the S strain bacteria which were responsible for the transformation of the R strain bacteria, since the R strain bacteria, they have got transformed from the non-virulent stage to the virulent stage, that is they have developed an outer covering of the mucopolysaccharides and hence they became virulent, and that is the very basic reason they were responsible for causing the death of the mice. So with this he concluded that that from the S strain certain of the substances were transferred into the R strain bacteria which were responsible for the transformation of the R strain into the S strain, due to which the mice died. Clear? But again, what is the biomolecular nature of that particular material, it still remain unknown. So later on a large number of the discoveries were made and a large number of the experiments were carried out to find out the nature of such molecule, in this series of experiment, Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy, they succeeded in telling that it is a genetic material, it is the DNA which serves to be the genetic material which is responsible for the transmission of the traits. Clear? So how they did this? It is very clear from this. Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy, they have told about the the biomolecular nature of the genetic material. According to them, or the transforming material, we can call the transforming material, it is not the genetic material right now. We are just talking about what was responsible for causing the R strain to become the S strain. Clear? So we should call it that it is the this experiment deals up with the determination of the biomolecular nature of the transforming material. So in their series of experiment, as they all knew that it is the shiny coating surface, shiny outer covering of the S strain which is responsible for transformation. So they extracted out the biomolecules from the coating of the S strain. Okay, and these biomolecules, they contain the proteins, the RNA and the DNA. And when they extracted out and they carried out their experiment, they found that it was the DNA and not the protein and the RNA which proved it to be the transforming material. How did they do this, or how did they reach to such a conclusion? That when certain enzymes like protein digesting enzymes their studies were carried out. Clear? So they were able to digest the proteins and the RNAs, that is the RNA digesting enzymes, they were able to digest the RNA, but the DNA digesting enzymes, they were not able to digest the DNA over there. Okay, so it was found that it is not the RNA and the proteins, but it is the DNA which act as the transforming material in the Griffith's transforming experiment. Clear? So with this we can prove that it is the DNA which act as the genetic material and not the RNA and the proteins. So we have till yet we have reached up to the topic that what are the transforming materials and which of the biomolecule is said to be as the genetic material. But still we are out of the reach that DNA can be said that it is the genetic material. In our next videos we are just going to move ahead with 2 more experiments which are going to prove that DNA act as the genetic material. Okay, till then, thank you.